بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. It is Wednesday, the 19th of October 2022, and in our series, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 366. There appears to be an error in the title which says 346. This is broadcast number 366. And this is the fifth part of our discussion chat, etc., about Al-Baqarah, verse 105. These broadcasts are brought to you courtesy of LASER, Lahore MDS School of Education in Religion, which is a branch of Ahmadi Anjuman Ishat Islam, also known as the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement, etc. The Ahmadiyya movement was established by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh, and his teaching was that although other people say that a prophet can come after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, this is not possible because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet is Khatamun Nabiyyin. And the Holy Prophet explained its meaning by saying, La Nabi Abadi, there is no prophet after me. So now no prophet can come. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib also taught that there are people who say that some prophetic revelation, like Ayah Rajam and Surah Balai, are missing from the Holy Quran. And also there are some people who say that some verses of the Holy Quran have been abrogated or cancelled. But he said this is incorrect. Because God says, I have revealed it and I shall protect it. So the Holy Quran has God's protection. So it cannot have anything missing and it cannot have anything that has been abrogated. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also said that jihad is a fundamental duty of every Muslim. But jihad as defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, who, when returning from a battle, said Muslims are returning from Jihad Asghar, the minor struggle, to Jihad Akbar, the major struggle. And he explained that the major struggle is Jihad bin Nafs, a struggle, a fight with your own inner self. But of course, if you're attacked with the sword, then you'll respond with the sword for your protection. And he said that the Messiah and Mahdi spoken of in the Holy Quran are not names of two personalities, but titles awarded to a Muslim Mujaddid. Because the Holy Prophet had promised that God will raise Mujaddids. When The Ummah needs reform when it's gone astray, when its ideas, thinking, and so on needs to be brought back to true Islam, then God will raise a Mujaddid. So he said that these are titles for one of the Mujaddids, and in fact he said that he was the one specifically chosen for those titles. And this raised a hue and cry, and people started calling Ahmadis and Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib kafir and so on. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, Rahmatullah Alayh, pointed out that the Holy Prophet has forbidden Muslims to declare each other as kafir and so on. And in fact, he has said that if one reciter of the kalima says to another reciter of the kalima, "You're not a Muslim," it's the person saying it who is not a Muslim. So, as I said, we are looking at verse 105 of the second chapter, Al-Baqarah. So, let's turn to that. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ما يود الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب ولا المشركين أن ينزل عليكم من خير من ربكم والله يختص برحمته من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. Neither those who disbelieve from among the people of the book, nor the polytheists, like that any good should be sent down to you from your Lord. And Allah chooses whom He likes, whom He pleases for His mercy. And Allah is the Lord of mighty grace. I'm sorry, I've got a cough and a sore throat. So today we are going to look at two words, an and yunazzala. So let me turn to my notes, which are usually in disarray after doing the Urdu broadcast. So the word an, it just means that, those people, as the Holy Quran says. So there's not a lot more you can say. Um, if you really want to be technical and you want grammatical niceties, you could say this is the subordinating conjunction. But our objective is to actually look for guidance and so on, rather than discuss grammatical niceties. So the next word, yunazala, its root is nun ze lam, and 12 words have been made using this root, and in total they occur in the Holy Quran 293 times. 183 times we have the word anzala, and and 62 times nazzala, and 15 times tanzil. What else is there? 8 times nuzul, and 6 times nazala. And then you have once, twice. In fact, munzalin is 5 times, but it's mostly ones and twos and so on. So let's have a look at the meaning of the word that I mentioned just now. Its fundamental meaning, basic meaning, is to sort of come down from a higher place. Um, and some people take it literally to say that it's always, something coming down from heavens to earth. But the Holy Quran does not bear that sort of strict interpretation. And even in English, actually, sometimes in the days of old, although not so much now, you could say, and this is very common in Urdu and Arabic anyway, you would say to a stranger, "Where have you descended?" Meaning, where are you staying? Obviously, it doesn't mean to say that he has descended from heavens down to his hotel or, friend's house or whatever it is. Um, so we have to see the context. I mean, let's take an example. Chapter 18, verse 1. Alhamdulillahillazi anzala ala abdihil kitab. All glory is for Allah. Okay? Anzala, who sent down from heavens. Ala abdihi, upon his servant, hil kitab, the book, or this book. Now we know that, the Holy Quran wasn't sent down as a sort of bound book with a leather cover and stitching and so on. But that is where Jibrail alayhi salam brought God's messages as required. And then the Holy Prophet Muhammad had it written, and it was made into a book. Those pages were stitched together. And we looked at the meaning of the word kitab a few days ago. Again, chapter 42, verse 17 says, Allahul lazi anzal al kitaba bil haqq. And God sent down the book with the truth. Again, it's talking about God sending down the book. And as I said, no bound book descended from heavens. Or if that argument doesn't convince you, then let's look at chapter 57, verse 25. Wa anzalnal hadid. And he sent down, literally, he sent down iron. And as we know, iron is dug up from the ground. And it doesn't descend from heavens. In chapter 57, verse 25. وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْمِيزَانَ. And he sent upon them books and a balance. Now, Um, this is sending guidance to to various prophets at various times. And again, Anzil alayna ma'idatam minas sama, chapter 5, verse 140. And we send down food from heavens. But we know it didn't literally come from heavens. God provided. Arrangements were made on this earth so that these people could get food. Kad anzalna alaykum libasan yuwari sawatikum. And anzalna, send down, libasan. Libas, clothes. Urdu speaking people should have no problem. God is saying here that clothes were sent down from heavens. Again, it's about punishment. In chapter 29, verse 34, it says, Inna munziluna ala ahli hazihil qariyati rijzam minas sama'i bima kanu yafsukun. That people of a certain town, certain place, punishment descended upon them from heaven. And punishment descended upon them from heaven. The word sama is used here. And in fact, the verse about food, it says, food descended from heavens, from skies. Minas sama. Unzil alayna ma'idatam minas sama. Descended food from heaven. So the point I'm making is that, we sort of, unfortunately, what we did was when people embraced Islam, they brought some of their previous beliefs with them. And rather than check them in the light of the Holy Quran, Sunnah, Hadith, and then either reject them or correct them and modify them, what we did was we took those beliefs and we started twisting the Holy Quran and Hadith and so on, so that those views could be justified, which is the wrong way around. And this was one of the major reforms of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, that he said the Holy Quran comes first, Sunnah comes after, then comes Hadith. Let's go to chapter 97, verse 1. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. And we revealed it in Laylatul Qadr. Is talking about the Quran, the book. But we know that it wasn't revealed all at once, but piecemeal over a long period. Now, there's one important idea, concept that we need to clear. And that is that some Muslims say that prophethood is ended, now God no longer speaks to man. So that's one extreme. The other extreme is that people say God continues to speak to human beings, and they say that the walis, the holy people with whom God speaks, you must follow them and believe in them and believe in their wahi. Both are extremes. You see, you can attain knowledge by two ways. One is that God tells you how things are. And the second one is that you do research, etc., and you come to some conclusions. And of course, in the second method, there can be mistakes. This is how science evolves and develops. Someone does something, and then people consider it, and they find errors in it, and then they modify it, and so it goes on. Now, the point is this: that prophethood has ended. You see, a prophet's wahi, prophetic revelation, is binding on others. You have to follow it, you have to believe it, you have to follow it. But God may speak to other people, answer prayers, for example, but they are personal, they're not public. A prophet is bound to announce, even a mujaddid may be bound to announce what God has revealed to him. But it's incumbent for us to follow the revelation of a prophet. And it's not incumbent upon us to follow the revelation, inspiration of a wali or a saint or whatever. And that is the difference which people forget. In our own family, we have seen people who predicted things, and there couldn't have been any way they could have found out except that God had told them. You know, my grandfather wrote to us from Suriname. In those days, it used to take a letter 2 months. We're talking about 1950s, to get from Suriname to Pakistan. Airmail was very expensive, so most communication was by sea mail. And in that letter, he said that he had a vision in which he was told that our grandmother, his wife, had passed away. And indeed, she had. But we had no means of getting a message to him in those days. There was no WhatsApp and no Skype and no Zoom, and you couldn't press a button and ring someone the other side of the world and tell them what has happened. If he'd written him a letter, even if you couldn't even directly send a telegram from Pakistan to Suriname, what people would do is they would send a telegram from Pakistan to England. They would then send that message from England to Holland, and then it will be communicated from Holland to Suriname. So even if it was a telegram, it would take 4 or 5 days to get to the other end. So how did he know that his wife had passed? Who told him? Obviously, God told him. But that does not make him a prophet. And this is what people forget, that the status of prophethood, it is now closed. No one can now claim to be a prophet. So with that, our time, actually we've gone over our time. I take my leave of you with the prayer that may Allah watch over the whole of humanity, regardless of people's religion or their nationality or their sect or whatever. And may He keep everyone safe from harm and difficulty. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.